So when you think of any other job that one might have had, for example, every job that I've had, I started at a entry level position and I was able to move up to the next level, whether that be a lead supervisor, to a manager, to a general manager, to a plant manager, XYZ, regional manager. You know what I mean? Like a linear uh, progression upwards, right? You start from the bottom, you work your way up. The post office isn't necessarily like that. See, as a letter carrier, uh, we move lateral. Okay, we increase steps. We get more money the longer that we stay employed within the craft. So as for linear progression or moving up, career advancement in that sense of moving up, it's not necessarily how it works. So what I see, um, what I saw when I first started was a lot of CCAs. Right away, they realized they didn't want to deliver mail because maybe it's too hard or whatever the case may be. So they shift from craft employees to EAS employees, aka management employees. And the bridge between those two will be the 204B. Okay, so the 204B is like an acting supervisor. It's basically CCA for supervisors. It's the supervisor who is gonna get the bulk of the night closings and making sure everyone gets back by 6:30. And basically, what the supervisors don't want to do, they'll push on a 204B. And when the shit rolls downhill, that's gonna be the person to get sent back to craft, right? Because CCAs can get sent back to craft. Now, if you do take a management position, you have to resign your city letter carrier position. So you can't be a real supervisor and be a letter carrier. It doesn't work like that. And that's kind of where I want to head. So a lot of postal positions, you have to resign one and get another. So you can't say, okay, I don't want to be a mailman anymore. I don't want to be a letter carrier. Now I want to be a clerk. I want to sell stamps. Well, you have to physically resign, resign one position, apply for another. And that gets me into what I want to talk about. So if you're a city letter carrier and you want to move up, there's only but two choices if you want to stay within city delivery. Okay, when I mean city delivery, I mean delivering packages and mail and being somewhere in the sphere of that. I'm not talking about being in HR and watching people on scanners and logistics and seeing where tractor trailer trucks are being driven and dropped off. Those are different jobs. Post office has tons of jobs. Again, you have to resign what you're doing now, apply for that. But if you kind of want to move up in city lettercraft, I think the only two positions that you may progress into is either union or management. Okay, and what I mean by that is whether you're a good carrier or whether you're a shitty carrier, if you reach the position, the time in your life where you want to move, your position, you might want to think about upper management. Ultimately, you'll have to resign, but then you might want to think about joining some type of union leadership, right? Because with the union people, you see they're always on special detail. Okay, they'll still be getting paid as letter carriers, but they're clocking in every day and doing some kind of union function. So I think that as a carrier that wants to progress in his career, you have to make that decision. Are you going to stay loyal to your craft, are you going to stay loyal to your brothers and your sisters and defend the craft, or are you going to use the knowledge that you acquired while in craft and use it against those same brothers and sisters as a acting member of management? And that's a dilemma, right? Me personally, I think that the NALC should have some type of 5-year limit on a transition. So for example, if you were a shop steward or if you worked in union leadership, there should be like a 5-year clause in our membership that you can't cross over to management. And what that would do is protect the union from upper leadership, for example, a national president who may, agree on a horrible contract, and in return next year after he doesn't win re-election, or next election cycle where he doesn't win re-election, he ends up with a lofty comparable position in management, right? So that's something that, you know, each person has to, you know, check their moral compass, right? Because you'll see a lot of carriers will talk trash about union, and union doesn't do this, union doesn't do that. However, when it's time for discipline or time for a union rep to represent them against management, you know, now they're pro-union again. So it's tough, right? Me personally, I've thought about it. I've thought about it a lot. You know, I'm not the best carrier, but I'm not the worst carrier. But something about having to wait 12, 13 years to reach top pay, you know, whereas if you become a supervisor, you can reach top pay plus 5% in less than a year. So, you know, there's something about that it could be tempting, right? But, you know, me, who I am today, I know that I'm going to stand for my brothers and my sisters, and I'm definitely going to stay union, right? But that's something that, you know, every carrier might come to a point in their career where they have to think, like, what am I doing? You know, then I have to make a decision and say, am I going to be an effective person in union that is going to, you know, offer a change, you know, because in management, I don't think that a person will have power to change things, just the way that the post office is structured. And the thing about getting an EAS position is once you mess up enough times, there's no going back to letter carrier. That's it, you're fired, you know what I mean? Maybe their union could protect you, I don't know what they do. But that's it, you know. As in craft, you know, if you mess up in union, or you get, if you don't win a re-election in union, your job is protected, because don't forget, you were on a detail. So you just go back to carrying mail and whatever step you were in. So yeah, that's kind of, you know, where, you know, the thought process took me today, because I see, like I said, I see 204Bs, CCAs go to 204Bs, and then, you know, they think that they have all this power. They want to tell carriers with 25 years what to do, and a month or two later, they're not 204Bs anymore, and then they're back to city letter carrying. And it's kind of like, why jump into that if you weren't ready? You know, like, there's no reason that anybody should be a managing acting position if they only been carrying mail for less than a year, you know. But ultimately, as you progress in your career, if you're a very good carrier, I would recommend that you stay with craft, because, you know, to have that, you know, knowledge, and to have the knowings of how things work, why would you just not want to give that back and protect, you know, what you did for how long you did it? You know, we got to protect the craft above anything else. And if you want to go into management, that's fine too. Management needs its leaders too, you know. But that's just a fundamental question that, you know, anyone who wants to progress in the post office has to ask themselves. And if you're tempted with that question, you know, take a good look deep inside and really ask yourself, you know, who do you want to support? Is it the city letter carrier, or is it EAS management? Anyway, I'll be here until next time, and I'll definitely check in with you guys real soon. Stay safe. It's kind of warm out here today. And remember, guys, you know, this is a rewarding career as long as you're willing to put in the work. And, you know, if you don't mind breaking a sweat, you know, this may be, at least in my opinion, one of the best careers you ever have. Anyway, guys, until next time, I'll be here. You'll be there. Peace.